This diagram is not easy to understand, so I'm going to attempt a quick explainer video here. Essentially what this diagram is trying to do is gap analysis. So it's looking at the distance between policy as written and policy as practiced. So the first thing that we're going to do is move over here into the left, and we're going to select one of the inequalities to put through this diagram. Next thing we're going to do is move to this pillar, the pillar of access. What's this asking is us to go to the top and put it through these indicators here. So we're going to ask the questions, looking at this policy through the lens of access. Is there a policy? Is it one of many government policies? Is there a legal or administrative framework to support this policy? And has money been allocated in order to see this policy through? And where is that money coming from? Once we look at it through the access lens, this leads us down to understanding whether we have the opportunity for equality. The next step then is to move to this pillar. And that's where this gets a little more confusing because the pillars don't line up clearly with these indicators at the top. So we get to quality of education, which is any policy that is inputting a resource into the education system. And this could have anything to do with buildings or student resources or teacher training. And we're going to come back to these indicators at the top and ask ourselves the same questions we did with access. Is there a policy? Is there a framework that is supporting this policy? And is there a budget that allows us to implement this policy? We're going to do this once more through output or outcomes. And this is looking at things like grades or state tests. So is there a policy to measure this? Do we have the framework set up to do so? And have we decided that we're going to allocate money to do this? Now, so that takes us through these three levels of the chart. Then we're going to move over here. And really from this point on, where these indicators separate right here, we're almost looking at a completely different chart. Because once we're looking at the policy through the lens of diversity and inclusive education, we're not just looking at the framework and the budget, but we're looking at, is there a policy? Is the policy special education? In other words, there are special schools, special facilities for students with disabilities. The next level is, are the schools integrated? Are there students of various abilities at the same school, but still in separate classes? And then our high indicator here is that the classrooms are inclusive. So students of mixed ability are together in the same classroom. And you can see that we can measure this through our internal results. So again, grades or standardized testing. But we can also measure this through our external results, which are things like social skills or life skills. Now, in my opinion, the rubric on page 86 of this article does a better job of demonstrating what this looks like with a specific policy. And later in our presentation, you'll see us take this rubric to visually represent the policy analysis of the policy for students with disabilities. I hope this clarifies this diagram for you.